What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another reaction video. We got Brady versus Manning, the greatest rivalry in NFL history. Let's check this out.
There's no rivalry like Brady versus Manning, the two
Facts.
legendary quarterbacks who overwhelmed
These niggas
NFL
was always
defenses
going
with
at
their
it.
extraordinary passing proficiency and relentless competitive spirit, went head-to-head 17 times.
Damn.
Their epic clashes were so much more than just
17 times is crazy.
Brady
like, who would y'all say would be the Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning rivalry like of this day? I would say probably Mahomes versus Josh Allen, because every time they go against each other, bro, it's absolute fireworks, bro.
The damn near
I think that's the closest comparison to this rivalry.
The ultimate legacy is the greatest to ever play the position, and it's crazy to think that their rivalry ever became what it did, considering when Brady and Manning entered the league, their careers were on very different paths.
Yep, Manning was a first-round pick, and Brady was like what, a sixth
overall in the '98 draft.
The Indianapolis Colts select quarterback, University of Tennessee, Peyton Manning.
Instantly becoming the face of the Indianapolis Colts, a prodigy destined for greatness. Then there's Tom Brady, a sixth-round draft pick out of Michigan, who started as the Patriots' fourth-string quarterback, with
that
no
shit is
indication
crazy,
he
bro.
might ever become a
His story was
let alone a Super Bowl
unbelievable.
MVP.
I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna make the team. Don't
like,
worry about
bro went from a sixth-round pick to a seven-time Super Bowl champion and a future first ballot Hall of Famer. Like, but I also wish that, bro, like, he didn't have to retire for him to become a damn Hall of Famer. But they should have put him in the Hall of Fame, you know what I'm saying, as soon as he got done won his seventh ring. Like, let's be honest.
In 2001, fate intervened. A sudden injury to New England quarterback Drew Bledsoe catapulted the inexperienced Brady into the spotlight.
Like, God works in mysterious ways, bro.
Faced with making
Brady was one of them chosen
start
ones
against none other than Peyton Manning and the undefeated Colts, it was a turning point that changed the course of the Patriots franchise forever.
I remember running out there on the field. You came up right to me. You said, "Hey, Tom, Peyton Manning." I was like, "No."
Even though the Pats were huge underdogs, the first showdown between the two future greats saw New England demolish the Colts, 44-13.
Damn.
First start for Tom Brady. First
wow.
win for Tom Brady.
Some Brock Purdy shit.
Three interceptions returned for touchdowns. Brady took a sack on his first play, but that wouldn't be a sign of things to come. Instead, he threw for 168 yards and, more importantly, kept the turnovers to 0. Showing Brady might make an okay seat filler until Bledsoe's return. 3 weeks later, the battlefield shifted from Foxborough to Indy, but the outcome stayed the same, with New England powering past Manning and the Colts 38-17. Patriot Nation was over the moon with how their young substitute QB
and he took him to the Super Bowl that year too, and they won.
Subtle hints of his eventual mastery of Belichick's intricate playbook, as Brady went 200 yards plus through the air, along with 3 touchdowns. The Colts finished 6-10 and quickly showed Jim Mora the door.
You kidding me? Playoffs?
Yeah, that guy. But there was no kidding around about New England's playoff run. Brady, now officially the starter, caught lightning in a bottle, knocking off the Raiders and Steelers on his way to a Super Bowl 36 showdown against Kurt Warner and the 14-point favorite St. Louis Rams. But the greatest show on turf couldn't live up to the hype, as the Patriots showed up and showed out with a 2017 win to secure their first Super Bowl title. In 2003, Manning lost to the Pats.
Like, bro, imagine if Brady imagine if Bledsoe would have never got injured. We would have never gotten Tom Brady. And who knows, maybe the Patriots would have still been at 0 rings, bro. Like,
respectable fashion. This time with New England,
like, bro, like,
out the
it's
win,
crazy.
To a huge goal line stand in the final minutes of their Week 13 matchup against Indy. But enough with the regular season matchups. The playoffs.
Playoffs?
That's where it really matters.
Playoffs?
In the fourth matchup, the Sheriff and the Golden Boys squared off in the 2003 AFC Championship with Super Bowl 38 on the line. Manning had been killing it throughout these playoffs, throwing 8 touchdowns with 0 interceptions in wins over Denver and Kansas City, and looked to continue the throwing barrage in snowy Foxborough. And he did just that, throwing all over Gillette. The only problem? He was throwing to the wrong team.
Wow.
Manning on a roll, throws and
what a pig.
Sure, the law is usually on the Sheriff's side, but Peyton, dude, cornerback Ty Law is not on your team.
Heavy rush at all, far sideline.
He threw 2 picks to him? Damn.
In Super Bowl 38, TB12 went off against the Panthers, completing 32 passes, the most in Super Bowl history, and throwing for 354 yards, the 5th most in Super Bowl history. Sure,
Wow.
the most talked about moment was Justin Timberlake exposing
we all
Jim
remember that.
Jackson's stylishly pierced nipple. But
Stylishly
with Brady winning
pierced
his second Super Bowl MVP and then beating the Colts in the 04 season opener,
And Vanderjack.
Damn, bro. Patriots owned the
at
Colts.
this point, just like Janet's nipple, Peyton Manning looked completely exposed, now sitting at 0-5 against Brady and the Patriots.
Wow.
Did we say 5 losses? Let's jump to 6 straight, as the Horseshoes wrapped their season just like it started, with a loss in Foxborough, as Brady
Damn.
tattooed an embarrassing 20-3 playoff loss onto
Peyton
the
could never beat
ample-sized
Brady's
forehead
shit.
of one Peyton Manning. For Brady, it was back to the Super Bowl. For Manning, it was back to another disappointing offseason, this time with a growing reputation as a playoff choke artist. Brady won his 3rd Lombardi trophy.
He ended up still
after
getting
handing
his
Philadelphia
Super Bowl
a
trophy, though.
41-33. The win put Brady's playoff record at an astonishing 9-0 undefeated streak, a first for any NFL quarterback, and a mark no quarterback will likely ever match. By 2005, Manning was a 2-time league MVP with a
laser rocket arm.
and statistically, the NFL's best quarterback. But heading into their Week 9 matchup against New England, Indy clearly needed a new game plan.
Facts.
And Tony Dungy had just that, believing the key to finally pulling one over Brady and company was to do what Indy hadn't done in any of their previous 6 matchups.
What?
Score first. Peyton and the Colts stuck to the plan,
Well,
firing it
obviously,
from the
nigga.
jump with a 48-yard missile to Marvin Harrison
Damn,
before
that's a
scoring a
dot.
quick 6. Manning threw for over 300 yards with 3 touchdowns and even scrambled for an 18-yard gain on a critical 3rd down. Manning running for first downs? It was different, but fitting, as the rivalry finally took a different direction.
They won.
Peyton snagging his first
About
career
fucking
win over
time.
his arch rival, 40-21. Now,
Damn,
was
it
the
took y'all like
Colts riding
7
away with
games.
momentum into their annual showdown with the Pats. Not only were they fresh off their win from last season, but in 2006, Indy rolled in with an undefeated 9-0 record.
It is.
Manning
Oh yeah, I
once
think
again
didn't I react to this
scrambled to
game?
avoid a sack
I think
before
I did.
tossing a 44-yard dart to Marvin Harrison. This set up the first of 2 TDs to Harrison, the second being an incredible one-handed
Yep.
grab to
Yep,
help
I did
Indy
react
take
to that
the win,
game.
27-20. Brady's performance was not only his worst in the 17-game series with Manning, but his 0 touchdown, 4 interception performance is one of Brady's worst games in his 21-year career. But despite Indy taking 2 in a row, when it came to the playoffs,
Playoffs?
New England was sitting pretty as the AFC's top seed. Fans assumed the Patriots would rout the Colts in the 2006 AFC title game, especially after taking an early double-digit lead. But the Colts didn't crumble. Instead, the Sheriff threw for 349 yards to erase a 21-3 deficit and engineer the greatest comeback in AFC Championship history, outdueling Brady in a 38-34 win.
Wow.
Finally, it was Manning's turn to step onto sports' grandest stage, punching his ticket to Super Bowl 41 against the Bears in Miami. It was the first Super Bowl played in rainy conditions, but that didn't slow down Chicago's Devin Hester, who took the opening kick 92 yards to the house.
I'm so glad he's in the Hall of Fame now,
Super
bro.
Bowl history. But playing catch-up was nothing new for Manning and the Colts. Down 14-6 in the first quarter was, as the large Spanish-speaking population in Miami might say, nada. Manning flipped the script and started raining down points to outscore Chicago in the last 3 quarters, 23-3. The Colts were victorious, and just like Brady in his first Super Bowl, Peyton was named the game's MVP. In 2007, it was a battle of the undefeateds, as the 8-0 Patriots locked up with the 7-0 Colts in a game they called the biggest regular season showdown in NFL history. The defending champs beat Brady in the previous 3 matchups, giving Manning a golden opportunity to nudge the rivalry in his favor. But Brady had other plans, including an incredible 55-yard bomb
Damn.
to Randy Moss in the
Oh
fourth
my
quarter,
gosh.
followed up by a 3-yard TD.
Wait, was
strike
this the
for Wes
season they went
Welker.
undefeated and then lost in
Patriots
Super
within
Bowl
3.
to the Giants?
Remember Wes Welker, right? The
Yup.
5'9" Patriots receiver who would later ditch Brady to join Peyton in Denver.
Yup.
But Mr. Dependable is perhaps best known for his string of Depends adult diaper commercials.
So
Wait,
you
what?
are all wearing new
Had Clay
Dependable
Matthews in there
Capris
too?
currently.
Yeah, it was almost like silk.
And I hope he was wearing a pair of those dipes in 2007, because Welker very well might have shit his pants with excitement when the scoreboard hit 0-0, as Brady and the Patriots' undefeated streak streaked on, following a 24-20 win over Manning and the Colts. TB12 and the Pats continued their winning ways, finishing up 16-0 and becoming the first team to complete a perfect regular season since the '72 Dolphins. They carried their undefeated streak into Super Bowl 42, where Brady not only competed for a fourth Super Bowl title in 7 years, but looked to become the first quarterback in NFL history to lead his team to a perfect 19-0 record. But standing in the way of perfection, who else but
Eli.
Manning? No, not Peyton
Eli.
Manning, but younger brother Eli Manning and the 12-point underdog New York Giants. The low-scoring game featured just one lonely Tom Brady touchdown that put the Pats up late in the fourth, but teed up possibly the most astonishing game-winning drive in Super Bowl history. You know the one.
This ball's thrown, and Tyree just goes up for it like a basketball player. Harrison
That
trying to
catch
knock
is
it
still
down.
just
Eli's
so
touchdown
iconic
pass
to
4
this
plays
day,
later
bro.
slammed
And
the door on
Plaxico
Brady's
Bears
fourth
with the
Lombardi
game winner.
and secured back-to-back Super Bowl wins for the Manning brothers. In 2008, the Brady-Manning game was put on ice after Brady suffered a devastating knee injury.
Oh,
but
yeah.
in 2009, Brady and Manning were back at it for their 11th head-to-head, featuring a combined 700 yards through the air and 7
Damn.
touchdowns. The Pats were up by 6 with 2 minutes left, but in a head-scratcher of a call, New England went for it on 4th and 1 from their own 28 and failed to convert, giving Manning a short field to work with in just a one-possession game. The rare Belichick blunder allowed Peyton to sling one to Reggie Wayne for the go-ahead touchdown
That's
and
tough.
complete yet another come-from-behind fourth-quarter victory over New England. The game marked the Colts' 18th consecutive regular season win and a flawless 9-0 on the season, eventually propelling Indy to their second Super Bowl in 4 seasons. Super Bowl 44 was a bit of a car crash for the Colts after giving up an early 10-point lead
I think I
before
remember
falling
this.
victim to the Saints' surprise onside kick to start the third quarter.
Onside kick to start
That
the
is
second
crazy.
half. And the ball bounces
Wow, like Peyton Manning, bro. Not
In
Peyton Manning.
2010, when Manning faced the
Got it. Sean Payton, bro. I don't know why the hell I said
and
Peyton
BB,
Manning.
It would be his last as a Colt. And just like the last time they walked into battle, Manning lit up the scoreboard with 396 yards passing and 4 touchdowns. And just like in 2009, the Colts trailed in the fourth, marching downfield with an eye on the end zone. Total deja vu, right? Not this time. Peyton threw a pick with under a minute to go as New England's D dropped the hammer on the 4-time MVP's
Pause.
potential comeback. Following Peyton's 12th season in the league, the tread on the tire of the veteran QB was beginning to show some wear, the most glaring being severe soreness in his neck. Off-season surgery alleviated some of the pain, but by late summer, Manning struggled with his throwing motion. A disappointing MRI made it clear that Peyton needed a spinal fusion, which would keep him off the field for the entire 2011 season. With Manning on the shelf, the Colts went from a 10-6 playoff team to suddenly having an NFL worst 2-14 record that secured the #1 overall pick in the following year's draft. And with a potential generational-type
Andrew
quarterback
Luck.
in Andrew Luck sitting at the top of the draft board,
The Indianapolis Colts select Andrew Luck, quarterback, Stanford.
it became obvious to all Manning's time in Indy was over.
yeah.
In 2012, the greatest player in franchise
Went to
history
Denver.
jumped from one horse team to another, leaving the Colts for the Denver Broncos. But before diving back into Brady versus Manning, it's worth mentioning that without Peyton in their way, Brady and the Patriots cruised to their 5th Super Bowl, yet once again lost it to Peyton's brother Eli.
Tough.
To cement just how much the Manning name continued to plague Brady and the Patriots, Super Bowl 46's biggest play was a clutch throw from Manning to Manningham. You can't make this stuff up. Peyton's first game against Brady as a Bronco fell short of the
That's
usual
actually
Brady and Manning
iconic
gold
right there,
standard
bro.
game. New England jumped out to a 31-7 lead, but Manning fought back, airing it out for 337 yards and 3 touchdowns, with no signs of lingering effects from his spinal fusion. Yet it still wasn't enough, as Peyton took the L, bringing the series score to Brady 9, Manning 4. Now, the 14th round of the Brady versus Manning saga was an instant classic, and the only one of the 17 to go to overtime. But by halftime, no one was thinking about OT, as Denver hit the locker room up 24-0. The vibe around Gillette was about as comfortable as a Bill Belichick press conference. But in typical Brady fashion, he turned it around in the third with multiple scores, including one to Rob Gronkowski, and suddenly it was 24-21.
Best tight end of all
Costly
time.
Manning interception kicked off the fourth, allowing New England to snatch the lead until Demaryius Thomas pulled in an 11-yard TD pass from Manning to knot it up and head to overtime. A muffed punt by Denver set up New England for a chip shot kick to seal the deal. A culmination of a 344-yard, 3-touchdown performance from Brady to overcome an insane 24-0 deficit. And just 8
That
weeks
nigga,
later,
he knows a
Brady and
lot
Manning
about
were back
coming
in
back
their
from
third
deficits, bro.
AFC championship
28-3
with a
anybody?
Super Bowl 48 slot on the line. By now, Manning played Brady enough to realize that the best defense against him was to keep Brady off the field. This meant Denver coming in with long, meticulous drives, which Manning orchestrated to perfection. Peyton dialed down the no-huddle Omaha, hurry-up offense that helped him scorch the NFL record book for most touchdowns and yards during the 2013 season. Instead, Peyton led a pair of long 93 and 80-yard touchdown drives, each lasting more than 7 minutes.
Oh my
Part
gosh.
of the game plan that saw Peyton's offense hold the ball.
Bro, that's damn near half, bro. Like, that's damn near half each quarter, bro.
And it worked, with Peyton's Broncos
26 to 16.
outsmarting
That's smart,
Brady's
though.
Patriots squad 26-16. But Super Bowl 48 against the Seahawks would not be one for the Manning family scrapbook. On Denver's very first play, Broncos center Manny Ramirez snapped the ball before Peyton was ready. The ball flew into the end zone for a safety, giving Seattle an early two-point lead.
Didn't Seattle put belt to ass?
12 seconds in was the quickest in Super Bowl history, surpassing Devin Hester's kickoff return 7 years earlier. But unlike 2006, Peyton could not overcome the early score.
Yeah, they put belt to ass in this game.
43-8. In Game 16 of their series, Peyton was serenaded by the Patriot faithful with chants of "Brady's better" pretty much the entire game. But in this one, they were right. Brady threw 4 TDs to beat the Colts 43-21.
That is crazy, bro. Hey, that's how you know it's a true rivalry, bro, and the crowd start chanting shit like that.
Manning admitted during the postgame, quote, "I don't usually stink, but I
Stop today.
Hey, don't be so hard on yourself, brother. It's not like Tom and company went on to Super Bowl 49 and beat the same Seahawks team that crushed you in last
That's
year's Super Bowl,
crazy.
landing Tom's
That's actually
Super Bowl
crazy,
title
bro.
Compared to your solo title, right? Actually, that's exactly what happened.
Once again, the Patriots are world champions.
Manning stewed for nearly a year until revenge was in the now 5-time MVP's sights. It would be Brady and Manning's final showdown, fittingly in yet another AFC Championship game. Manning was the star of the game's most unique play, a third-quarter scramble for a first down that Manning dubbed the run, in air quotes, might be the most celebrated scramble by a Denver quarterback since John Elway's helicopter ride in Super Bowl 32.
Oh, yeah, I
18
remember
years
this.
earlier. Peyton's 17 for 32 performance was far from vintage Manning, but his 2 most important completions went for touchdowns, enough to beat Brady and the Patriots 20-18. Even in the loss, Brady's record against Manning stood supreme at 11-6. But Peyton won out in AFC Championship matchups with a 3-1 record against TB12. In Super Bowl 50, both
they won the
Denver
Super Bowl,
and
yeah.
Indianapolis fans, and even Tom Brady, hoped to see a storybook finale for Manning, and they got it, with Peyton winning his second Lombardi trophy in his final NFL game. Now that you know everything about
that's
Brady
one way to
versus
go
Manning,
out, bro.
you
That's
can
a
decide
perfect
which
way to go out
quarterback
on
is
top.
the true winner. Though
Winning
choosing
a
a
Super
winner is
Bowl.
relative, considering when it was all said and done, there were
Instead of,
8
like, retiring
MVPs,
after
9
losing
Super
one.
Bowls,
You know what I'm
and
saying?
6 Super Bowl MVPs between the two. And speaking of winners, check out more content from Blitz, where every video
man.
is a winner. For real, click here
I
to
want to
start
know what you
watching.
guys think down in the comments below. Y'all let me know what other NFL videos y'all want me to react to. Without further ado, I'm out. Gang!